As men grow older, their bodies go through natural changes that affect skin, sweat glands, and overall hygiene, and one of the most overlooked yet damaging habits is skipping regular showers and not using proper soap. Many older men feel that because they are not as active as they were in their younger years, they don't need to shower every day. Some may believe that simply wiping their face or splashing water on their body is enough to stay clean. However, what they don't realize is that the body is constantly producing sweat, sebum, and natural oils, even when one is resting. These oils mix with dead skin cells and bacteria, creating an unpleasant odor that becomes more noticeable with age. The skin of elderly men tends to be thinner and drier, but paradoxically, it can still trap odor-causing bacteria if not washed properly. Over time, skipping showers allows layers of sweat and oil to build up, leading not only to strong body odor but also to itching, rashes, and infections. Another mistake that comes with this habit is not using the right kind of soap. Many older men may just rinse their body with water, thinking it is enough, or use a very mild soap that doesn't effectively remove odor-causing bacteria. While it's true that harsh soaps can dry out older skin, not using any antibacterial or deodorizing product makes it almost impossible to fight persistent smells. Sweat itself doesn't have a strong odor, but when it mixes with bacteria living on the skin, the smell becomes stronger. This is why proper soap use is essential. Gentle, moisturizing soaps that still contain antibacterial properties are the best choice for older men, because they clean without stripping the skin too much. A body wash or soap that leaves a light, fresh scent also helps keep the body smelling pleasant for longer. Showering is not just about washing away dirt, it also helps with circulation, relaxation, and maintaining healthy skin. When an older man skips showers, dead skin cells accumulate, making the skin look dull and feel rough. These cells can mix with sweat in skin folds such as underarms, groin, and behind the ears, where bacteria thrive. Over time, even if clothes are washed, the odor clings to the skin and transfers to fabric, meaning the smell lingers even after changing outfits. This cycle makes it difficult to get rid of the odor without proper bathing. In addition, older men often take certain medications that may increase sweating or change body chemistry, making their natural odor stronger. Without daily or at least regular showers, these chemical changes in the body amplify unpleasant smells. It is also worth noting that many elderly men have reduced senses, including smell. This means they might not realize how strong their body odor has become. They may think 1 or 2 showers a week is sufficient, while family and friends notice an unpleasant smell around them. Because they don't smell it themselves, they underestimate the importance of showering. This can be embarrassing in social settings, leading to isolation, lowered self-esteem, and even avoidance by others. Personal hygiene is not just about cleanliness, it's about maintaining dignity and confidence in old age. Regular showers also play a role in preventing infections and skin issues. As the skin ages, it becomes more fragile and prone to fungal or bacterial growth. Areas like the armpits, groin, and feet are especially vulnerable. Without frequent washing, fungus can grow, leading to conditions like athlete's foot, jock itch, or yeast infections. These not only cause itching and discomfort but also add to bad odor. Furthermore, older men may have folds of skin or limited mobility, making it harder for them to reach every part of their body while bathing. Skipping showers only makes these areas worse. For men with reduced mobility, using shower chairs or handheld shower heads can make the process easier and encourage consistency. Another important point is the role of sweat glands. As men age, the type of sweat produced changes. Older adults produce a compound called nonenal, which has a musty or greasy smell. This compound comes from the oxidation of fatty acids on the skin and is more noticeable after the age of 40 or 50. Regular showers with proper soap help wash away these fatty acids and reduce the intensity of the odor. Without consistent hygiene, the smell of nonenal becomes stronger and harder to mask, even with deodorants or perfumes. That is why relying on cologne or aftershave without showering is a mistake. These products may temporarily cover the smell, but they do not eliminate the bacteria and oils causing it. In fact, mixing perfume with body odor can sometimes make the smell even worse. Psychological factors also play a role. Some elderly men may feel less motivated to bathe because of depression, loneliness, or lack of energy. They may think no one is around to notice, so showering is not necessary. However, skipping this habit slowly lowers their standard of living. A clean body creates a fresh feeling that boosts mood, energy, and self-confidence. The act of showering can also be therapeutic, providing relaxation and a sense of renewal. For men who live alone, creating a daily routine that includes showering can help bring structure and improve overall well-being. It's important to also mention the small details of showering that make a big difference. Using a clean towel every few days, washing thoroughly under the arms, groin, and feet, and making sure hair is cleaned properly all contribute to freshness. Older men sometimes focus only on their face and chest, ignoring other areas that actually produce more odor. Taking the time to scrub gently with a washcloth or sponge ensures bacteria is removed. After showering, moisturizing the skin is also recommended to prevent dryness, which is common in aging skin. Cleanliness combined with proper skin care reduces not just smell but also irritation and flakiness. In addition, shower frequency should be adjusted according to weather and activity level. In hot, humid climates or after physical activity, daily showers are necessary. In colder months, every other day might be enough, but skipping for too long will allow odor to build up again. For those who cannot shower daily due to health issues, sponge baths or using cleansing wipes on key areas can help maintain freshness. The main point is consistency. A routine that balances hygiene with skin care is the best way to avoid unpleasant odor. Ultimately, the habit of skipping showers and not using proper soap is one of the main reasons older men develop a smell that others find unpleasant. It's not just about age, it's about hygiene choices. With the right habits, such as showering regularly, using effective but gentle soap, and paying attention to the whole body, any man can stay clean and odor-free well into his later years. Smelling fresh is not only about personal comfort but also about respect for others and maintaining social confidence. Avoiding this mistake can make a huge difference in how older men are perceived and how they feel about themselves every single day. One of the most overlooked but critical aspects of hygiene in older men is oral care, and neglecting it can be a major reason why they develop an unpleasant smell. Oral hygiene is not only about having clean teeth, it is about maintaining the overall health of the mouth, gums, tongue, and breath. As men age, changes occur in their bodies that make dental care even more important than before. Saliva production decreases with age, and this condition, often called dry mouth, creates an ideal environment for bacteria to grow. Saliva acts as a natural cleanser, washing away food particles and neutralizing acids. When it is reduced, food debris sticks to the teeth, bacteria multiply quickly, and bad breath becomes stronger. Many older men either forget to brush regularly, brush only once a day, or avoid flossing altogether, which results in plaque buildup, gum disease, and chronic bad breath. Tooth decay and gum disease are not just cosmetic problems. They directly contribute to foul odor. Plaque, which is a sticky film of bacteria, builds up on the teeth and gums when oral hygiene is ignored. Over time, it hardens into tartar, which cannot be removed without professional cleaning. The bacteria feeding on this buildup release sulfur compounds, which smell like rotten eggs and cause halitosis, the medical term for bad breath. This is why skipping daily brushing and flossing creates a constant bad odor in the mouth that no amount of mouthwash or chewing gum can mask. Many elderly men rely only on mouthwash or mint candies, thinking they solve the problem, but these are temporary cover-ups. They do not address the bacterial colonies forming on teeth, gums, and tongue. Unless these bacteria are physically removed, the smell returns within hours. Another issue is the condition of the tongue. The tongue traps food particles, dead cells, and bacteria in its grooves. Older men often do not clean their tongues properly, leaving behind a coating that produces a strong, unpleasant smell. Tongue scraping or gently brushing the tongue as part of oral care is essential for reducing odor. When neglected, the tongue itself becomes a source of persistent bad breath. Dentures are another factor. Many older men use dentures, and if they are not cleaned thoroughly every day, they collect food particles and bacteria, creating a sour smell that spreads to the entire mouth. Sleeping with dentures on without cleaning them increases the risk of infections like thrush, which not only causes discomfort but also produces a noticeable bad odor. Beyond the mouth, poor oral hygiene can have serious effects on overall health. Bacteria from untreated gum disease can enter the bloodstream, leading to conditions such as heart disease, respiratory infections, and even strokes. This is why doctors stress the importance of regular dental visits, especially for older men. Unfortunately, many seniors avoid the dentist either because of cost, fear, or the belief that losing teeth is a normal part of aging. As a result, untreated cavities, broken teeth, and infected gums become chronic sources of foul smell. Missing teeth or poorly fitting dentures can also trap food, further worsening the odor problem. Medications also play a role. Many older men take multiple prescriptions for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart conditions. These medicines often reduce saliva production, leading to dry mouth. When oral hygiene is neglected, the combination of dryness and bacterial buildup intensifies the bad smell. Some medications can also cause gum overgrowth or sensitivity, making it painful to brush, which leads men to skip cleaning altogether. This avoidance worsens the odor problem. A dentist can recommend saliva substitutes, special rinses, or adjustments in oral care routines to combat these side effects, but ignoring them only accelerates the cycle of bad breath and poor dental health. Dietary habits also add to the issue. Foods like garlic, onions, alcohol, and tobacco leave strong odors that linger much longer in older men due to slower metabolism and weaker oral hygiene practices. Smoking in particular is a major cause of bad odor because it dries the mouth, stains teeth, irritates gums, and leaves a permanent stale smell in the breath. Many elderly men who smoked for decades carry this odor even after quitting unless they actively improve their oral hygiene. In combination with neglected brushing and flossing, smoking creates one of the most stubborn smells, often described as sour, musty, or stale. Another important detail is hydration. Older men often drink less water, either due to reduced thirst or medical restrictions, and dehydration worsens oral odor. Without enough water intake, saliva flow decreases, bacteria multiply faster, and bad breath becomes chronic. Simple steps like drinking more water throughout the day can significantly reduce odor, but without regular brushing and flossing, this is only a partial solution. Socially, poor oral hygiene can be extremely damaging. People are less likely to engage closely with someone who has constant bad breath, which can make older men feel isolated, embarrassed, or avoided. This leads to reduced confidence, reluctance to speak in public, and even depression in some cases. Maintaining good oral care is not just about health, it is about staying socially active, confident, and respected. Unfortunately, many elderly men underestimate the impact of oral odor, thinking that others do not notice or that it is an unavoidable part of aging. In reality, with the right habits, oral hygiene can be maintained effectively at any age. The best way to address this issue is through consistent daily practices. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste, flossing once a day, and cleaning the tongue are non-negotiable steps for preventing odor. For those who wear dentures, removing them at night and cleaning them thoroughly with proper solutions is essential. Regular dental checkups every 6 months help catch problems early before they turn into severe odor-causing infections. Using alcohol-free mouthwash can provide extra freshness without drying the mouth. For men with dry mouth issues, chewing sugar-free gum or using saliva substitutes can stimulate saliva flow. Even small changes like switching to an electric toothbrush or using water flossers can make oral care easier for those with limited mobility. Ultimately, neglecting oral hygiene is one of the biggest reasons older men smell bad, and it is entirely preventable. Bad breath is not simply caused by aging, it is the direct result of poor dental care and ignored mouth health. Brushing, flossing, tongue cleaning, denture care, hydration, and dental visits form the foundation of fresh breath and good hygiene. When these habits are practiced consistently, older men can avoid the embarrassment of bad oral odor, improve their overall health, and maintain a sense of dignity and freshness well into their senior years. Oral hygiene is a small daily effort with enormous impact, and ignoring it is one of the most damaging mistakes older men make when it comes to their personal cleanliness. Wearing unwashed clothes and undergarments is another bathroom and hygiene mistake that makes older men smell bad, and while it may seem like a small habit, its impact on personal odor is huge. Clothing is in constant contact with the skin, which produces sweat, sebum, and dead skin cells. When clothes are not washed regularly, these substances soak into the fabric fibers, especially in undergarments, socks, and shirts. Over time, bacteria and fungi feed on this buildup, creating strong and unpleasant smells that linger even after short periods of wearing the clothes. Many older men underestimate this factor, believing that if they do not sweat heavily or if they only wear clothes for a few hours, they can reuse them without washing. However, with age, the skin naturally produces different compounds such as nonenal, a chemical that has a greasy or musty smell and sticks to fabric fibers easily. This means that even light use of clothes can lead to persistent odor when not washed properly. Undergarments are the biggest concern. Since they are worn directly against the skin, particularly in areas like the groin and armpits where sweat and bacteria are most active, they absorb a large amount of odor-causing substances. Reusing undergarments without washing them daily allows bacteria and fungi to multiply, leading to strong body odor, skin irritation, and even infections. Older men often develop conditions like fungal infections in the groin or feet when underwear and socks are reused without washing. The musty, sour, or stale odor from these areas then spreads beyond personal space, making it noticeable to others. Clean undergarments every day are non-negotiable for maintaining freshness, yet many elderly men neglect this because they either want to reduce laundry, believe their clothes still look clean, or have reduced physical ability to manage frequent washing. Shirts, pants, and outer garments also play a role. Even if they don't seem dirty, they trap sweat from the armpits, back, and chest. When worn repeatedly without washing, the smell builds layer upon layer until the fabric permanently carries a stale odor. This is why some older men seem to smell bad even right after a shower. It is not always their skin that smells, but the old, unwashed clothes they are wearing. Washing clothes regularly with detergent removes bacteria, sweat, and oils, while fresh fabric softeners add a clean scent. When clothes are not washed often enough, these benefits are lost, and even strong deodorants or colognes cannot mask the smell that comes from dirty fabrics. Another mistake is drying clothes improperly. If older men wash clothes but let them sit damp for too long, or do not dry them in sunlight or fresh air, they develop a musty, moldy smell. This mildew odor is extremely unpleasant and clings to the body once the clothes are worn. Older men who live alone or in small, humid spaces may not notice this problem, but others around them will. Using dryers or proper sunlight exposure is important to kill bacteria and prevent mustiness. Ironing clothes can also help keep them fresher by reducing lingering odors. Socks are another overlooked culprit. Feet naturally produce sweat, and older men may also suffer from poor circulation or fungal conditions like athlete's foot, which make socks smell worse. Wearing the same pair of socks for more than a day, or reusing socks without washing, creates one of the strongest body odors. The smell travels through shoes and spreads into living spaces. Since many elderly men may have reduced sensitivity to smell, they often don't realize how noticeable this odor is. Washing socks daily and alternating pairs of shoes to let them dry properly is a simple but essential hygiene practice. The psychological aspect cannot be ignored. Some older men skip washing clothes to save energy, water, or laundry costs. Others simply lose motivation, believing that it does not matter since they are no longer working or socializing as much. However, this neglect has consequences. Family members, caregivers, or visitors quickly notice stale-smelling clothes, and it creates a sense of poor hygiene even if the man showers regularly. This not only affects how others perceive them but also reduces their own confidence and dignity. Clean clothes have a direct impact on self-esteem, making a person feel fresh, presentable, and socially acceptable. The texture and type of fabric also matter. Synthetic fabrics like polyester trap sweat and odor much more than natural fibers like cotton. Older men who wear synthetic clothes repeatedly without washing experience stronger odors, as these fabrics hold onto oils and bacteria. Switching to cotton underwear, socks, and shirts helps reduce the smell problem, but washing remains essential. Simply spraying fabric fresheners or perfumes on unwashed clothes is not enough. It may temporarily mask the odor, but when body heat activates the fabric, the underlying bad smell comes back stronger, mixed with artificial scents. Laundry habits also influence how fresh clothes stay. Using too little detergent, washing in cold water without proper cleaning agents, or overloading the washing machine leaves clothes only half clean, allowing odors to persist. For older men, having a caregiver or family member help with proper laundry routines can prevent this issue. Adding antibacterial laundry solutions or vinegar rinses can help kill lingering bacteria in fabrics. Regularly washing bedding, pillowcases, and towels is equally important, since these items also collect sweat and body oils and transfer smells back to the skin after bathing. Footwear is closely tied to this problem too. Shoes absorb sweat, and if socks and shoes are reused without proper drying, they become breeding grounds for odor. Older men who wear the same shoes daily without rotation or cleaning develop a strong smell that is hard to ignore. Washing socks is only part of the solution. Shoes must also be aired out, cleaned, and sometimes replaced. Otherwise, the smell seeps into socks again and spreads back to the body. The reason this problem is often underestimated is that people associate body odor directly with the skin. In reality, clothing acts like a sponge for sweat and oils, and once contaminated, it amplifies the odor even if the person maintains decent shower habits. This explains why some elderly men feel they are clean but others still complain of their smell. The truth is that freshness requires a combination of body hygiene and fabric hygiene. Without washing clothes and undergarments regularly, the effort of showering daily becomes useless. The solution is simple but requires discipline. Change underwear, socks, and shirts daily, wash clothes after each use, dry them properly, and rotate shoes. Investing in enough pairs of undergarments ensures that laundry delays do not lead to reusing dirty ones. Using detergents with antibacterial properties and ensuring proper drying in sunlight or fresh air makes clothes smell pleasant again. These practices not only prevent odor but also reduce the risk of skin infections, rashes, and fungal problems. Ultimately, wearing unwashed clothes and undergarments is one of the strongest contributors to the bad smell associated with older men, but it is entirely preventable. Fresh clothes against clean skin create a combination that keeps body odor under control, boosts confidence, and maintains dignity. Neglecting this habit, on the other hand, creates a cycle where even the cleanest body still smells unpleasant because the clothes themselves are contaminated. For older men, making laundry and fresh clothing a priority is just as important as showering or brushing teeth, and it is one of the most effective ways to stay fresh and avoid the stereotype of smelling bad in old age. Ignoring foot, skin, and hair cleanliness is another bathroom mistake that causes older men to smell bad, and it often goes unnoticed because many think these areas are secondary compared to the underarms or mouth. The reality is that feet, skin folds, and hair are some of the strongest contributors to personal odor, and when they are not cleaned properly, the smell becomes obvious to everyone around. As men age, mobility decreases, flexibility reduces, and even eyesight weakens, making it harder to reach, see, or properly care for these parts of the body. What starts as small neglect, skipping a hair wash for a few days or not cleaning between toes, quickly turns into a hygiene problem that produces unpleasant and stubborn odors. Feet are one of the most underestimated sources of bad smell. Human feet have thousands of sweat glands that produce moisture throughout the day. Even men who do not walk much or are mostly indoors continue to sweat in their feet, especially when wearing socks and closed shoes. Sweat itself does not smell, but when it gets trapped in socks and shoes, bacteria and fungi break it down, releasing a foul, sour odor commonly known as foot odor. Older men often make the mistake of not washing their feet thoroughly during showers, assuming that water running down will clean them. In reality, feet need special attention, washing between toes, scrubbing soles, and drying completely after bathing. When this is ignored, bacteria and fungus thrive, leading not just to odor but to conditions like athlete's foot, fungal toenails, or cracked skin. These infections worsen the smell and can spread to socks and shoes, making the odor nearly permanent if untreated. Another factor is toenail care. Thickened or neglected nails trap dirt and fungi, creating an additional source of smell. Older men with limited mobility often struggle to trim their nails properly, and this neglect allows infections to grow. Wearing the same socks repeatedly, as many seniors do to save effort, compounds the issue, as dirty socks soak up bacteria and transfer odor back to freshly washed feet. Proper foot hygiene, washing, drying, moisturizing, and wearing clean socks daily, is crucial to avoid these problems. Even using antifungal powders or sprays when necessary helps maintain freshness, but when feet are ignored, the smell becomes one of the strongest contributors to the stereotype of older men smelling bad. Skin cleanliness is equally important. As men age, their skin produces a compound called nonenal, a byproduct of fatty acid oxidation that has a greasy, musty odor often associated with old age. This smell tends to concentrate in skin folds such as underarms, behind the ears, on the neck, in the groin, and even on the back. If not cleaned properly, nonenal clings to the skin and becomes stronger over time. Many elderly men also sweat less overall, but the sweat that does come out remains longer on the skin because of reduced mobility and less frequent bathing. Sweat mixing with bacteria in warm, damp skin folds produces persistent body odor. Skipping the scrubbing of these folds during a shower or not drying them afterward creates a damp environment perfect for bacteria and fungus. Even if the rest of the body is clean, neglecting these folds leads to a strong, sour smell that lingers. Dry skin is another overlooked aspect. Aging skin tends to flake and shed more dead cells, which mix with sweat and oils. When not washed away regularly, these flakes produce a stale odor and make the skin look and feel unhealthy. Some older men avoid washing too often because they fear their skin will dry out, but ignoring hygiene entirely creates odor problems and sometimes infections. The balance lies in using gentle soaps, washing thoroughly, and applying moisturizers after bathing to maintain both cleanliness and skin health. Neglecting this balance makes the skin not only smell but also look cracked, scaly, and unkempt, further contributing to poor overall hygiene. Hair cleanliness is another major factor. The scalp produces natural oils called sebum, and while these oils protect the scalp and hair, they also trap dirt, dust, and bacteria when not washed regularly. Older men often wash their hair less frequently than younger men, either because of thinning hair, reduced effort, or the belief that hair doesn't get dirty if it is short. This leads to oily buildup on the scalp, dandruff flakes, and a musty smell that spreads every time sweat mixes with the oils. The odor is especially strong in hot weather or when hats are worn. Hair that is not cleaned regularly also carries environmental smells, such as food, smoke, or musty air, and these cling longer in oily hair. Even men who are balding need to wash their scalp properly, because the oils and sweat continue to form and create odor if ignored. Facial hair is another overlooked contributor. Beards and mustaches trap food particles, sweat, and oils, and if not washed daily, they become breeding grounds for bacteria and produce bad smells close to the mouth. Older men with facial hair sometimes treat it like the rest of their head hair and wash it infrequently, but facial hair needs daily cleaning just like the skin. Otherwise, it creates a mixture of food odor, sweat, and bacteria that becomes noticeable in conversations. All these hygiene issues with feet, skin, and hair not only cause odor but also affect health. Foot infections can spread, skin neglect can cause rashes or sores, and scalp buildup can lead to itching or infections. Many of these conditions worsen with age because the immune system weakens and healing slows down. Bad smells are often an early warning sign of underlying infections or poor hygiene, and ignoring them allows the problem to grow. Socially, the impact is just as serious. When older men neglect these areas, the smell becomes part of how people perceive them, often unfairly reinforcing the stereotype that aging automatically means being unclean. In reality, age does not cause smell, neglect does. Proper attention to foot care, skin folds, and hair can make a dramatic difference in how fresh and clean an older man feels and is perceived by others. A clean scalp, washed beard, fresh socks, and moisturized skin not only eliminate odor but also restore dignity and confidence. The solutions are simple and manageable. Washing feet thoroughly and drying them each day, changing socks, trimming nails, and using powders if necessary. Cleaning skin folds with mild soap, rinsing well, and drying properly. Washing hair and facial hair at least 2 to 3 times a week with gentle shampoo, and daily if needed for beards and mustaches. Moisturizing skin to prevent dryness while maintaining hygiene. Using medicated creams for fungal or bacterial issues when necessary, and seeking help from a doctor if problems persist. Small daily habits make the difference between smelling stale and musty versus fresh and clean.